I think we have a couple more people that need to be seated. Waiting for Ms. Roberts to give me her approval. I have your approval, thank you. Good evening. My name is Keith Bixby, and I am the 18th principal retired of the finest high school in the country. The Eagles. And tonight we're very excited because we are going to honor 10 extraordinary Eagles and their accomplishment. On behalf of Central High School, its students and staff, the Central High School Alumni Association, and the Central High School Foundation, as well as our audience, I'd like to congratulate our 10 guests tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. I would also like to thank all of the individuals who are in attendance in support of these 10. No one, in my belief, really does make it alone. It takes a village, and in this case, it takes an Eagle Nation to turn out great people. So thank you to all of those individuals who are here. I'd also like to thank our viewers on the Eagle Network. We are live casting the Hall of Fame tonight to locations around the world who will be joining and watching. So welcome to our viewers on Strive TV. Before we start tonight's ceremony, I would like to do some thank yous and some recognition. First of all, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee in recommending another great class of inductees. And will the following committee members please stand up and be recognized, and you can hold your applause until I get through all the names. Mr. Bob Atherton, Dr. Jerry Bartee, Ms. Linda Gomez, Mr. Nelson Gordman, Mr. Gary Groff, Ms. Jane Lutke, Ms. Susan Mogul, Mr. Jordan Stevens, Mr. Marty Ricks, and Ms. Kiana Williams. Let's give these people a round of applause. I would also like to thank the Central High School Alumni Association, a very important component of the long-term success of this institution, for their energy and their effort to make this Hall of Fame celebration possible. A special thanks to the committee for putting on the wonderful event, and I would like the following individuals to please stand and be recognized for their contributions in making sure this remains an institution to be envied. President Jeanette Johnson, Hall of Fame Chair Barb Naughton, Hall of Fame Dinner Committee members Pat Brown, Henry Cordes, Jeanette Johnson, Janine Mason, Chris Tellman, Katie Hellman, and Gary Willis. Thank you so much. I would also like to say thank you to the Central High School Foundation for its support of Central High School and its alumni. Many of you know that I spend a lot of time with the foundation, and for an institution, a public high school in a downtown location, to have the support of not only its alumni, but an organization dedicated to its ongoing success. I'd like to think the next 157 years may be covered up pretty well. I'm hoping to see 314. I'm doubting it, but I know Central will. So, those board members in attendance tonight and those members of the foundation, if you would stand when I call your name. Board Member Rusty Crossman, Board Member Ellie Batt, Board Member Dr. Ed Bennett, Board Member Marilee Miller, Executive Director Michelle Roberts, Events and Alumni Relations Manager Brittany Gunn, and Communications and Database Manager Josh Busey. Thank you very much for what you guys do. And finally, we would like to recognize all of the past Central High School Hall of Fame honorees who have joined us tonight, and thank them for their ongoing support and contributions in making sure that Downtown High School continues its tradition of excellence. Will the following individuals please stand to be recognized when I call your name? Dr. Jerry Bartee, Dr. Ramona Bartee, Ms. Susie Bucket, Dr. Rusty Crossman, Mr. Chris Foster, Mr. Mike Garrity, Ms. Peggy Jorgensen, Mr. Roy Katsky, Ms. Marilee Miller, and Mr. Pat Salerno. Thank you for coming home tonight. Finally, and then I'm going to shut up for a while, it is my distinct honor, privilege, and somewhat a chagrin that I'm going to introduce the next individual. He is someone that I admire, I respect, even though he is an Iowa Hawkeye fan. And I appreciate that because they are relevant. This individual is the 19th principal, the current principal of the finest high school in the country, and he does an outstanding job, and I marvel at how well he does. So at this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Ed Bennett, principal of Omaha Central High School, to come to the podium. Dr. Bennett.
One of the first things they tell you when you become principal at Central is something they don't tell you at other high schools. They say you're now principal of the finest downtown high school in the United States. Now don't screw this thing up. So that's been my goal for years, and fortunately, if we're screwing it up, somebody's got to tell me, because it seems like things are going pretty well so far. But seriously, thank you, Dr. Bixby. It's my great pleasure to welcome all of you here this evening, and to be the 19th principal of this fantastic school, the Omaha Central High School. Did you know that since 1944, there have only been 7 Central principals, and 4 of them are here tonight. So when I introduce you, could you please stand? The 16th principal, Mr. Jerry Bexton. The 17th principal, Mr. Greg Emmel. And the 18th, of course, is Dr. Keith Bixby. On behalf of the entire Central community, I'd also like to congratulate tonight's inductees and their families. Inductees, you not only understand the importance of Central High School's tradition of excellence to our community and to future generations of Eagles, but in many respects, you are responsible for creating it. You have distinguished yourselves and honored Central High School as leaders in wide-ranging pursuits, including law, music, engineering, academia, advertising, nursing, philanthropy, scouting, telecommunication, real estate development, and architecture. Wow, what an amazing collection of talent all in one place this evening. We are incredibly happy to have you back home here at Central High School and to honor you for representing us, your fellow Eagles, in the best possible way. Before the formal recognition of our inductees begins this evening, I've been tasked with giving you a snapshot of what is going on at Central High School circa 2016, and letting you know that how this powerhouse high school continues to produce graduates who make us all proud, many of whom will one day join you in the Hall of Fame. We remain Nebraska's second largest, most diverse, and of course, best high school. As of this morning, we had 2,436 students born in 35 different countries, speaking over 72 different languages. And they all have an unabashed appreciation for the 2 things that Central grads have always cherished: academic excellence and student diversity in all of its forms. We have multiple National Merit Scholar semifinalists and commendation winners. Our fourth class of International Baccalaureate graduates, or candidates who are poised to graduate. We have 10th, 11th, and 12th grade classes with the highest standardized test scores, respectively, in the past 9 years. We have a senior class garnering interest in the nation's finest colleges and universities. Winning athletic teams, including volleyball and softball teams, have been ranked in the state's top 10 this year. We have award-winning musical ensembles, plays, and musicals, all state and all city musicians. We have the 103rd road show on the calendar. And we have a math teacher recently honored at the White House for winning the Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. We have an incredible foundation that works tirelessly to support our students and to connect with and to honor our alumni. And that foundation is currently planning a 46,000 square foot, $20 million addition to the east side of Central High School. Yes, Central is still Central. Its tradition of excellence and influence on the community, much like its passion of for its code alumni continues to grow. So please, we are so thrilled to have you back. Please enjoy your time here. I was told to say this, that a word to the wise should be sufficient. And so, we're thrilled to begin the proceedings this evening. I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Bixby. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dr. Bennett. And now you know why I admire you so much. Outstanding. One more round of applause for Dr. Bennett. We are now ready to begin our induction. And we will be starting as soon as I get my notes together here. Okay. So we are inducting 10 individuals who, as Dr. Bennett mentioned, have represented this high school in the finest fashion in a variety of endeavors. And again, we thank you. Tonight we will start with Mr. William Baird, Central High School, 1930.
It is my honor to introduce inductee William Baird, Central High, class of 1930. Baird's career in law was so long and distinguished, his name lives on in one of Nebraska's largest and most prestigious law firms. He first went to work in a firm with his father before engineering the merger that created today's Baird Home firm. During a distinguished 44-year career, he served as president of the Nebraska State Bar Association and received its award of special merit, along with serving on the bar's Ethics and Discipline Committee. He also interrupted his career to serve his country during World War II. Accepting the award tonight for Mr. Baird is his granddaughter, Gigi O'Hara.
Thank you, Sam. Good evening. My name is Gigi Garson O'Hara, and I, along with my mother, Lynn Baird Garson, who's in attendance, and the rest of my family here tonight, would like to thank you for the honor you have bestowed upon my grandfather, William James Baird, in inducting him into the Central High School Hall of Fame. My grandfather, known as Bill by his family and friends, led an impressive life. Shaped by the Depression, he subscribed to the school of hard work and accountability. He was known for his work ethic, humility, and honesty, which earned him the respect of those who knew him. He was also a very likable guy. He made friendships easily and had a great sense of humor. And he was not above playing a practical joke on someone now and then, although my mother has unfortunately forbidden me from telling any of those stories here tonight, probably for the best. But hearing about his work ethic, his humor, and his honesty, it's probably not a surprise that with this combination of traits, he was a natural leader in practically every organization he joined. And his lifelong record of leadership began when he was a student at Central High School. For example, he didn't just play basketball for Central. He was the captain of his team his senior year and one of its top scorers. He didn't just participate in the school's ROTC program. He was a leader in that organization while at Central. He also developed his sense of community service while at Central, which manifested in several leadership roles in community organizations in the Omaha area during his lifetime. He took leadership positions on several boards, including the Nebraska Masonic Home and Presbyterian Theological Seminary of Omaha. He also served as president of the Nebraska Children's Home Society and was a Grand Master of his Masonic Lodge and a 33rd degree Mason. He further honed his leadership skills through his legal career in Omaha, which spanned from 1937 to 1981. After attending law school, he joined his father, Claire Baird, in running his own law firm, then known as Baird & Baird. After his father's death, he continued to practice, which ultimately led to the co-founding of the prestigious law firm Baird Home, where he served as legal counsel for the West Side School District for many years. And though his legal practice was diversified, he focused a large portion of it on estate planning and probate law for his clients. He was so committed to his clients that when one of them inevitably passed away, my grandfather went to the funeral every time. Not because he had to, not because he wasn't busy, not because anyone would even know if he didn't. He went because he would know if he didn't, and it was important to him. That's the kind of man he was. During his 44-year legal career, he also led several professional organizations. He served both as president of the Omaha Bar Association and president of the Nebraska State Bar Association. He was a lifetime fellow of the Nebraska Bar Foundation, elected chair of the Nebraska Ethics and Disciplinary Review Committee, and served on the state's Chief Justice Nominating Commission. And this devotion to and leadership in the legal community of Omaha earned him the award of Special Merit, one of the Nebraska State Bar Association's highest honors, recognizing individuals for the services advancing the legal profession, the administration of justice, and the public interest. However, my grandfather's legal practice was interrupted briefly. When this country entered World War II after Pearl Harbor, my grandfather made the decision to enlist in the United States Navy. Now, this wasn't a convenient time for him. He was still building his legal practice, which would have to be put on hold. He had 2 young children at home, and a wife who was pregnant with their third. But his sense of obligation drove him to join, and his leadership skills were utilized yet again as he was promoted to lieutenant and commanded a naval gun crew on a troop escort ship in the Atlantic. When the war ended, he returned to Omaha and to his family. He was married to my grandmother, Grace Staves Baird, for 47 years until his death. And they had 3 children together, Bill Jr., Lynn, and Jane. And these 3 children gave him 8 grandchildren who knew him simply as Papa. As our grandfather, the man who helped build a law firm that still bears his name, a man who commanded men through a war and achieved the recognition and respect of his peers. This was the same man who got down on the floor with his grandchildren to play, and who always had space on his knee for his grandchildren. He gave us time, talking to us, laughing with us, leading again, this time on a personal level, through his example to impressionable young minds of a life well lived. One more second. So I was just 9 years old when my grandfather died. But his principles, and his career have been so important throughout my life. And when I decided to attend law school myself and came to practice here in Omaha, it's his character that guided me through my legal career. So on behalf of my family, both here tonight and around the country, we thank you for this honor and the opportunity to remember a man who set the bar, personally and professionally.
inductee is Pamela Bartling Buffett, Central High School, 1960.
Good evening. My name is Jacob Curley, and I am a senior here at Central. It is my honor tonight to introduce inductee Pamela Bartling Buffett, class of 1960. Pamela Bartling Buffett is a passionate advocate and supporter of a variety of causes. Motivated by a deep connection to serving humankind, Pamela is particularly drawn to social justice organizations, scholarships that connect students to education, and improving the quality of life for people with special needs. She traces the mission and purpose of her philanthropy to Central and its commitment to embracing diversity. She finds great inspiration and joy in seeing her support empower others. Ladies and gentlemen, Pamela Bartling Buffett.
I never dreamed I would be on this stage tonight. Well, what a wonderful honor it is to be inducted into the Central High School Hall of Fame. I'm filled with gratitude and great appreciation for this honor tonight. Omaha, a city I love, is where my life began, being raised by caring and wonderful, loving parents, Ralph and Catherine Bartling. Looking out at the audience tonight, there are many people who have influenced my life. Beginning with my twin brother Peter, who was always at my side, his lovely wife Linda, and my dear Susie. So many others, Ron Swain, Judy and Steve Olson, Bob and Robin Freeman, Jackie McLean, Sandy Gross, Nancy Hornstein, Nancy Gallagher, so many of you. And each of you have helped me become the person I am today. Central High gave me one of the most influential gifts of my life. Not knowing that at the time when I was a student here, but knowing now the value of diversity among the human race. Each of us with different hopes, dreams, backgrounds, joys, sadnesses. All of us matter in this world. All of us together have beautiful gifts to give. Fred Buffett, my late husband, was also influenced by the education and values of Central High School. Together, we try to live our lives based on Central's influence. So tonight, my heart is filled with gratitude and joy to be honored in such an extraordinary way by such an magnificent institution. So thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Mr. Rick Chudikoff, Central High School, 1967.
Hello everyone, my name is Lucy Cordes and I am a senior at Central. It is my honor to introduce inductee Rick Chudikoff, class of 1967. In the world of songwriting and music production, few can claim the kind of cross-genre success achieved by Chudikoff. He's helped to pen or produce top-selling hits in pop, R&B, Christian, and country, including co-writing the 1995 Grammy-winning Somewhere in the Vicinity of the Heart. Other top 10 hits he helped write or produce include Robbie Dupree's Steal Away and Matthew Wilder's Break My Stride. In all, productions on which he's been involved account for more than 25 million units sold. Rick Chudikoff.
Thank you, Lucy, Dr. Bennett, Dr. Bixby, Central High School Alumni Association, Central High School Foundation Board of Directors, Hall of Fame Committee, current and past Hall of Fame inductees. Thank you so much for this honor. I want to give a special thanks to Mark Sorkin, class of 1967, for nominating me. It's a very special award to me to be able to come back to Central and get this on the occasion that's supposed to involve achievements. It's a little different for me because for me I've been in the music business, which is really about occasional achievements, but most often about failures. And you have to just hang in there until you can hopefully have some successes. So I like to view this award as meaning that I was able to do something that I really loved in my life. And I hope kids have that opportunity to at least try it sometime. I was lucky. I was able to go for something that I really loved to do. And I was able to have at least some success at it, so I'm still doing it 50 years later. Central High School was already pretty important in my family by the time I came here. Both my mother and father graduated in the 30s, a couple uncles and aunts I think in the 20s, my brother Howard, 1961, my sister Barbara, 1964. So when I came here, at least they knew how to spell Chudikoff. I just want to talk about a few life lessons that I learned here. I wish I had even more time because there's so much really. And the first is the friends that you make here and the people you hang with, say, before and after school and at lunchtime. And my close friends are so important to me. Some of them are here tonight, and I want to thank you for coming. What you gave me was a home base of security to do everything from. You gave me a place to come back to that I know I'd always be accepted. And it gave me a reason to go out and meet other people that were maybe different from me. I came from Dundee School and Lewis and Clark Junior High, which was all white. I knew no people of color until I came to Central. And I made new friends. And that set me up for a lifetime of working with diverse people. I was in the first really popular mixed-race band in Omaha, the Smith Soul Band in 1967, which then became LA Carnival and Kraken. So I've always worked with people from different walks of life. Then there were the teachers. We had the most amazing faculty. I don't have time to talk about all of them, but a couple stand-ups. One for me was Mrs. Virginia Lee Pratt. She was my math teacher at AP Calculus, and she really inspired me to go on and major in math and get my degree from the University of Nebraska in math with special focus in actuarial science. And I even worked at Mutual of Omaha for a year after college. So at that time, I was actuary by day, rock musician by night. So I did that for a year, and then I left this high-paying, very secure, wonderful job to starve as a musician for about 10 years. Other teachers in passing were Mr. Day, Mr. Vinces. This is Meredith Brokaw, Tom Brokaw's wife I had for English. This is Beverly Feldman, a past recipient. She taught French. Mr. Clark, a wonderful, wonderful English teacher. All life lessons. Just one short story a life lesson that I learned the first day that I came to Central High School. And that lesson is, it's good to know the right person at the right time. So what happened to me, here I am at this huge, huge school, totally intimidated, trying to find room 230A, or whatever it was. And here I am, this little scared rabbit going down the hallway, looking for my classroom. I had 4 minutes to get from between classes. And up from behind me come 3 big bad wolves. Senior boys who were bullies. Hey, what are you doing here, boy? This isn't kindergarten. This is high school. Go back to kindergarten. Hey, you better listen to us. You meet us out in the parking lot after school. And we're going to teach you a lesson. If you don't come out, we'll come find you. Okay, I'm scared, you know what? I'm just trying to keep walking, try to find my class, but I knew my life was over. I was sure that the next day in Omaha World Herald was going to say 14-year-old boy at Central dies of heart attack. I was just sure. So I'm going and just praying I can find my room. Maybe I get in my room and the teacher will save me. One guy comes up alongside me and he's doing fake punches and the other two are breathing down my neck. And I'm just about to totally lose it when out from one of the rooms comes Mona Byers. Mona Byers, darn it, I was thinking play one of my songs. So Mona Byers, she was friends with my sister who had just graduated. She was a senior, so she knew me. I was Barb's cute little brother, Ricky. And Mona was this beautiful senior girl that every boy wanted to talk to. Anyway, she came out, saw what was going on, threw her arms around me. Ricky, what's going on? What's wrong with you? And these boys just lost it when they saw this happening. And then she gave them a look that said, don't you ever bother me again, or your dreams of me will be nightmares. They never bothered me again. They were as kind as can be to me. So I have more to say, but I'll stop. Thank you very much. I truly am honored. Thanks so much.
Our next inductee is Dr. E. Terrence Foster, Central High School, 1959.
Hello, my name is Maurice Garrett, and I am a senior at Central. It is my honor to introduce you to the inductee, Dr. E. Terrence Foster, class of 1959. From working in the Pentagon's Jet Propulsion Lab to founding the University of Nebraska Lincoln's Construction Engineering degree program, Foster built an outstanding career that bridged both engineering practice and education. A colleague once referred to Foster as a kind of engineering wizard, citing his knowledge of the field and grasp of its mathematical, physical, and scientific underpinnings. He fittingly capped his career in 2014 when he was honored with an Engineering Education Excellence Award by the National Society of Professional Engineers, Dr. E. Terrence Foster.
Thank you very much, Maurice. You're looking at a very fortunate person standing before you. I truly appreciate your selecting me for the Central High School Hall of Fame. I want to give you my impressions of how this possibly could have happened. In 1956, I started 10th grade at Central with a lot of momentum from Washington Grade School, where I learned to read, write, and compute. The Central High principal at the time was J. Arthur Nelson. He has become famous for the phrase, "A word to the wise is sufficient." Since I sometimes evaded authority, we might say many words to the unwise were necessary. At Central, I made a lot of new friends from its richly diverse student body. These new friends included people from different social and ethnic backgrounds that I was with in classes and in extracurricular activities. Although I did not recognize it at the time, knowing them prepared me for a future of understanding and working with people from all over the world who could very different from me. Academically in Central, my fortunes soared. I had exciting courses in geometry with Lois McKean and Latin with Ruth Bill. In my junior and senior years, I benefited from some of the finest teachers I had in my high school career. Julia Burrish in chemistry, Cecil McCarter in solid geometry, and Dwayne Perry in trigonometry and calculus. Frank Bryce stood out as my very best Central High School teacher. The writing skills he taught me, along with the Central High style book, led my associates to consistently ask me to collaborate on publishing their work. I thank them over and over for this important gift. During my junior year, Irene Eden advised me on college selection among institutions well known for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But Central gave me more than STEM. It gave me STEAM, where we insert the A for arts, such as English, history, and social studies, into the middle of the word STEM. This combination put me on a par with students from prep schools that I encountered in college. Because of my activities at Central, leading to my being the class of 1959 president, I was able to move ahead because I gained social awareness in addition to academic excellence. Central for me was a launching pad where I learned to think outside and inside the box when it came to functioning in society. In fact, Central gave me the impetus to teach and do research with numerous students from all walks of life. I've thrived on these connections in my career as an engineering professor. Throughout my life, I could not achieve much without the loving support of my family. In this regard, Central has again served me extremely well. I succeeded in convincing Mama Ramsey, Central 1961, to marry me after college. We have two wonderful daughters, Hillary, Central 1990, who is in Norway tonight, and Sydney, Central 1993, who is with us tonight. They have established their own rewarding careers and families. All are beneficiaries of the Central High tradition of excellence. In closing, I want to say that for me, Central High was way more than an educational institution. It is the place where I learned important values that I treasure, represented by the purple letter C in our west entrance. That C stands for me, the words competence, curiosity, community, culture, caring, compassion, commitment, and courage. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Donald T. Fox, Central High School, 1947.
My name is Morgan Bennett, and I am a senior at Central. It is my honor to introduce inductee Donald T. Fox, class of 1947. Worldly hardly begins to describe Fox, whose ability to navigate international law helped him found a prominent international law firm in New York City and to work to promote human rights throughout the world. After studying law in Paris, Fox went on to spend decades helping foreign firms conduct business in the United States, as well as advising American firms doing business abroad. Beyond business, as chairman of the American Association for the International Commission of Jurists, Fox has been active in the drive to promote independent judicial systems and deter oppressive governments around the world. Donald T. Fox.
Thank you, Morgan. I would have supposed that there could be no more terrifying experience in this world than to attend the school in which your father was a principal. Morgan seemed not only so intelligent and gracious and talented that she did not seem to suffer any damage. And when I met her father last night, I realized why. He had none of the traits of a warden. He was truly a sensitive, intelligent man. So I understand that the leadership of Central is in good hands. When I returned here after many years, I saw that the whole city had prospered and grown exceedingly well. And I was delighted to find out that the Central High Foundation has gotten so many alumni to support the goal of retaining excellence in this school. I only wanted to say tonight that the class of 1947 had the privilege of attending Central High School during the finest era of public secondary school education in America. Teaching was accorded the deserved status of one of the traditional liberal professions, equivalent to medical, legal, religious, and military professions. At that time, the hallmark of a profession was not pecuniary success, but rather dedication to the public good. The lamentable fact that teachers were paid less than their contributions deserved did not detract from society's perception of their worth, nor from a teacher's sense of responsibility for their students' future. Our teachers not only imparted knowledge by word and by example, they also inculcated the importance of character and the duty of civic engagement. Miss Pilling and Miss Frisbee not only taught the Latin language, they also made us aware of the concept of Roman virtue. When Miss Costello taught us civics, she also highlighted the responsibility of all citizens to be eternally vigilant in order to maintain the quality of our democracy. Mrs. Jensen, in supervising the functioning of the student council, did the same. We had many other superb teachers, too many to be given their deserved remembrance tonight. Therefore, I will simply conclude by saying that in honoring us, you also honor our Central High School teachers. To whatever extent our worldly success has contributed to the maintenance of the ideals they taught us, they deserve your grateful recognition.
Our next inductee is Robert Goldstein, Central High School, 1955.
Hello, my name is Avery and I'm a Central High senior. It is my honor to introduce inductee Robert Goldstein, class of 1955. During a visionary and pioneering advertising career, Goldstein helped turn products like Crest toothpaste, Tide detergent, Head and Shoulders shampoo, and Charmin bathroom tissue into household names. Goldstein served as Procter & Gamble's vice president of advertising for nearly a decade, commanding a budget over $1 billion and becoming one of the most powerful figures in advertising nationally. After his life was tragically cut short in a rafting accident in 1987, he was inducted into the National Advertising Hall of Fame. Accepting from Mr. Goldstein is Jeff Goldstein.
Thank you, Audrey. On behalf of my father, may he rest in peace, my mother, Nancy Barron Goldstein, Central High School class of 55, whose health no longer permits her to travel, but fortunately, hi Mom, she's watching on the internet tonight. Dad's brother, David, and sister Kay, my brothers, and the entire Goldstein and Barron families, many of whom are Central High alum as well. We would like to thank the Central High School Foundation Board, Executive Director Michelle Roberts, the Selection Committee, Dr. Bixby, and the rest of the Hall of Fame Committee, and all of you here who have come here tonight for this great, great honor. My dad had a lasting impact as a leader on his industry, community, and family. In keeping with the one-page P&G memo format, I'm going to talk about three contributions. At P&G, his media buy on Ted Turner's first cable network was pivotal in legitimizing the cable industry and taking us from 4 TV networks, remember that, to hundreds of channels. His public defense of the deductibility of advertising in Florida State House and in the U.S. Congress made sure that companies who spent money on advertising weren't taxed as if they were just profiting, and that money could be invested in the growing brands, which in turn grew companies and helped create jobs and build communities. No such tax has been enacted in the 30 years since that initiative. In addition, he really shaped the principles and the leadership of P&G, where 4 CEOs of the company had told me how much he impacted the company, how much he impacted the careers of all the marketing folks there. And for 29 years, they've been honoring the top award for advertising in his name. And all the while, all this time he was doing everything in industry, he also contributed in important leadership roles in the Jewish community as well. Mark Twain noted that a self-made man is about as likely as a self-laid egg. My father never forgot where he came from and what made him a success. He sent roses to his mom on her birthday. I'm sorry. He sent roses to his mom on his birthday. That was the kind of guy he was. He never forgot anybody's birthdays. He loved his family. He was smart. He was tough. He was demanding. He was fair. Despite a crazy work schedule and nonstop travel from Osaka to Crocus, he always made time to come back to Omaha at least twice a year to visit his family and pay respect to his roots. He often told us that he felt his great education, his ROTC experience here, and the other activities at Central High School were essential to his success at Harvard. And he talked about how much he appreciated Principal J. Arthur Nelson's guidance and advocacy helped him along the way. He was so proud and so grateful for his upbringing in Omaha, for Central High School in particular, for his parents, and to his mom, who he sent flowers on his birthday every year. He always remembered where his success was made. And I think at the end of the day, that's what the whole point of it tonight is. Congratulations to the many other impressive honorees. My dad would be humbled to get this award. He would be humbled to be among your midst. A special treat also to look at the award wall tonight and see that Dad's joining Ann Kennedy Goldstein on the wall as well. So thank you all, we appreciate it.
Our next inductee is Aubrey Woods Orduna, Central High School, 1965.
Good evening. My name is Claire Mahoney, and I'm a senior at Central. It is my honor to introduce inductee Aubrey Woods Orduna, class of 1965. Orduna, for more than 4 decades, has displayed her commitment to the nursing profession, from caring bedside to serving as the longtime Dean of Nursing at Omaha's Clarkson College. In 1975, she took a job as a unit nurse at Clarkson Hospital, where her skills and leadership abilities were quickly recognized. She proceeded to hold numerous positions as both an educator and administrator at Clarkson, assuming the dean's chair in 2009. One of the proudest aspects of her professional legacy has been her role in mentoring 50 minority students through Clarkson into the nursing profession. Ladies and gentlemen, Aubrey Woods Orduna.
Thank you so much. I want to say thank you, first of all, to my dear friend and nursing colleague, Cheryl Willis, who nominated me for this incredible recognition. Cheryl and I have worked together for at least the last 10 years, keeping the Omaha Black Nurses Association afloat to encourage African American student nurses, assist African American nurses to become leaders in the profession, and to serve the Omaha community through the promotion of healthy living, focusing especially on the needs of minorities. I also would like to give a special thank you to my colleagues from Clarkson College who are here tonight to share in this honor with me. I would like to say congratulations to the other inductees and to say how honored I am to be included in such a prestigious company. I think as I stand here with the lights in my eyes, it seems as though I am still on a cloud, not able to realize that this is really happening to me. I must first take a moment to say thank you to God for his everlasting love, mercy, and grace that have gotten me where I am today. I know tonight is about Central High, but I cannot forget the most important people in my life who were responsible not only for me getting to Central High, but for me becoming the person I am today. My parents, Rebecca and Ethan Woods. My parents were farmers in rural, segregated Arkansas. They owned, I believe, and my sister's here tonight so she can correct me because she's the oldest and she's always right. They owned, I believe, 20 acres of land. In the 1950s, they decided to leave everything they knew and move to Omaha so their children could have an opportunity for better education. This move cost them more than either of them could have ever imagined, but they were willing to make whatever sacrifices it would require, and they were many. So now to Central High. I came to Central High in 1961 as a sophomore. I had always been a good student, earning mostly A's and B's. I wanted to attend Central because I knew I wanted to go to college. And Central had a quote-unquote college prep curriculum, or so I heard. I know the members of my graduation class were invited to attend this ceremony tonight, but I'm not sure how many are here. Well, I can tell you, most of the members of my class probably do not even remember me. I recall attending one class reunion, and I don't think one person there remembered me. Why, you may ask? Was I absent frequently? Was I a troublemaker for teachers? Was I involved in too many extracurricular activities? No. In fact, just the opposite. I was one of those students who no one noticed. I went to class, did my homework every night, took home all the heavy books that we had to take home for homework, turned in my homework, and made quote-unquote good grades according to my teachers, B's and C's, and yes, a few D's thrown in there. I wanted and aspired to make the Central High honorable every year, but I never did. I don't even know if I knew where the office was at Central, because I never ever went there. I graduated in the upper 50% of my class, and I believe there were 365 or so of us in that graduating class in 1965. So you may be asking, why is she here tonight? Did Central fail this student? Again, the answer is no, just the opposite. So how did Central influence me? As several have mentioned earlier, Dr. J. Arthur Nelson, principal, would come around to the study halls each week and announce, "The representative from Briarcliff College is in my office." Little did he know that those words stuck in my brain and my heart, telling me that I could go to college one day. My math teacher, Lorraine Schul, for geometry, was a godsend who patiently helped me almost every day, trying to teach me geometry. I think that was the one D I received. But I passed that course with a D, and believe it or not, the counselor then said to me, "We're going to sign you up for trigonometry." Well, this shy girl spoke up then and said, "No, I don't think so." Ellen Trumbull was my English teacher, who nurtured my love for reading and writing. Very basic skills, I know. I don't know if anyone enjoyed diagramming those sentences as much as I did. The beloved and everlasting Central High theme book taught me scholarly writing. So as I entered college at Murray State College at that time in Kentucky, these basic skills were essential to my success, and I made the dean's list the very first year. So no, Central did not fail me, but it is one of the main contributors to my success, any success I have experienced. So did Central do anything extraordinary for me? Some may say no, but I say yes, because they, as educators, did their job. So to summarize, my parents taught me who I was through the sacrifices they made for me. God sustained me throughout the ups and downs, and Central High gave me the basic tools of education. And I can only hope to continue those gifts through the opportunities I'm given in life. So thank you, God, Mama and Daddy, and Central High for everything. Thank you so much.
Our next inductee is Lloyd Reutzstein, Central High School, 1964.
Hello, my name is Ian Ritchie, and I'm a senior here at Central High. It is my honor to introduce inductee Lloyd Weinstein, class of 1964. Service to others is a key part of the Boy Scout oath and law, and Weinstein certainly took that to heart. He has been involved in scouting for 62 years as an Eagle Scout, adult leader, and a professional scout for 40 years. 20 of those years leading the three-state Mid-American Council headquartered in Omaha. During his tenure, he led the response to the tornado that struck Willisoo Scout Ranch in 2008, killing 4 scouts and injuring many more. Before he retired in 2011, Weinstein was awarded the District Executive Award by the Boy Scouts of America. Ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd Weinstein.
And Ian's going to be an Eagle Scout for the next few months, so congratulations to him. Aren't these ambassadors fantastic? Makes us proud to be an Eagle. And it's great to be back on this stage. I performed in Fiorello and a music band and a roadshow on this stage, so a lot of great memories. What an honor it is to be here tonight. You know, most of us want to be successful, but how do we do that? Well, at Central, academics was one way, and that was not my forte. My attention span was about this long, and academics was something I had to work at. Sports was another way to be successful. Well, I was a 5'9" white Jewish kid, and I was no Gil or Roger Sayers. Leadership was another way. And leadership to me is taking a small ball of clay called an organization, and with other talented, dedicated leaders, molding it to achieve the mission, the vision, the strategic plan, and goals you set out to reach. That is my enjoyment, even better than winning a game or getting A's. My parents, Dr. Morris and Ann Roystein, put me in scouting at the age of 8. In scouting, I developed many skills, eventually earning the rank of Eagle Scout. I learned to live by the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. In the Scout troop, you are placed in the patrol. You learn teamwork. You learn how to recruit, train, and motivate others to achieve success. What a valuable life lesson. No one can be successful in life without surrounding yourself with people who have the necessary strengths to help you reach your goals. And while achieving success, you accomplish it with character and integrity. Without a doubt, Central High School provides the atmosphere to encourage students to become successful in life, notwithstanding the outstanding education and the extracurricular activities which I enjoyed: choir, musicals, working in the bookstore, ROTC, safe teams, and others. In each of those activities, I strive to show leadership. And of course, I also continued active in scouting. After graduation from Central High School, I enrolled at Omaha University and became the school mascot, the Wambi, the Indian spirit. I learned how to authentic Indian dance while in scouting. I also became a scoutmaster and was hired by the Boy Scouts of America before graduating from UNO. For 40 years, I was fortunate to work with many of our community's successful leaders to deliver quality scouting experience. When I retired in 2011, we were serving 33,000 young people in 57 counties with over 10,000 volunteer leaders. Our council was recognized as the #1 council in America with a huge and strong board. I'm very proud of that achievement. Leadership is gratifying. I have been privileged to serve on over 40 boards in my lifetime, volunteering to help make our community a great place for people to live. Working together with other community leaders is very fulfilling. Omaha is a great place to live. I plan to continue volunteering to help make our community even better as it continues to grow. I want to thank Central High School, the faculty, the administration, and foundation for all you do to make our school so outstanding. I want to congratulate this year's honorees, especially my friend and mentor, Ben Weisman, along with the other past recipients. I also want to thank my wife, Debbie. Her inspiration, encouragement, support, and love these past 46 years is the reason I am with you tonight. I want to thank my two children, Dr. Kerry Roystein from Chicago, who is with us tonight, and son Steve and his wife Stephanie from Portland, Oregon, who are unable to be here tonight. They chose to come to the Nebraska-Oregon football game instead and flaunt that back in Portland. I thank them for their sacrifice and support while I worked 24/7 with scouting as they were growing up. In addition, a big thank you to my family and friends who came here tonight to support and recognize me and the other recipients. Lastly, and most important, I cannot forget my parents who created the environment for me to be involved on so many levels and encouraged me to grow and evolve into the man I am standing before you today. It is with great humility and gratitude that I accept this prestigious honor. Thank you again. Go Eagles.
Our next inductee is Mr. Benjamin Wiseman, Central High School, 1949.
My name is Jackson Ferris, and I am a senior at Central. It is my honor to introduce inductee Benjamin Weissman, class of 1949. Omaha's long tradition as a telephone call center can be traced to Weissman, one of the many ways the real estate developer helped build his native city. After working with Whirlpool Corporation to develop the first worldwide 800 calling system in Michigan, Weissman believed Omaha's central location would make it an ideal location for toll-free call centers. He subsequently built the nation's first building designed specifically for telephone and computer operations and proceeded to develop facilities for numerous hotel, car rental, and telecommunication firms. Some of his proudest work has been preserving and renovating the historic structures downtown, including the Flatiron Building and Ford Plaza Building. Mr. Benjamin Weissman.
Thank you, Jackson. I want to acknowledge two of my four sons that are here tonight, Mark and David, and Dr. Rusty Crossman for nominating me. I thank you for selecting me for the Hall of Fame. The basic learning of English, math, and sciences, sprinkled in with some business courses, provided me with the tools needed for my future positions in business. Though some of my friends thought it funny that I took some business courses, these turned out to be common sense lessons for life. After serving in the Army during the Korean War, I was fortunate with my Central High background to secure a position with a local company that had distributed Whirlpool appliances and RCA Victor TVs for Nebraska and Iowa. After a few years, I was offered to join Whirlpool in Michigan and RCA in New York. My wife and I chose Whirlpool in Michigan over RCA in New York because we were starting our family and did not want to live in the suburbs of New York and have to commute each day to Manhattan. I started as advertising manager for North America at Whirlpool
and over an 8-year period, rose to Vice President of Marketing, including advertising, sales promotion, and marketing for all appliances. As my job grew, so did our family. We now have 4 sons and had lived in Michigan for more than 8 years. It was time to come back to Omaha so our sons could have the words of wisdom from their grandparents. After giving Whirlpool top management a year's notice of my intentions to leave, they offered my wife and me a trip to their private hunting lodge in Upper Michigan with full staff on duty for cooking and cleaning to reconsider staying on. We came back to Omaha and never regretted it. Oh, by the way, with help from suppliers, AT&T, Collins Radio, and IBM, I helped establish the first 800 phone number for North America while at Whirlpool. After coming back to Omaha, I set up call centers for many of the major hotels and Avis car rental. A study showed that at that time, Wiseman Development subsidiary companies controlled over 65% of all hotel call centers. Over 40 years ago, we designed and built Ramada, Best Western Hotel Call Center, and Computer Center at 78th and Crown Point. At that time, it was state-of-the-art. It was copied by most hotels, airlines, and car rental companies. Over the years, my wife and I have headed up and participated in quite a few civic organizations here in Omaha. I believe my learning at Central taught me the necessary basics and to not give up, to keep trying, and usually, eventually succeed. I'm very grateful to Central teachers and staff. Thank you very much. Our final inductee tonight is Clarence Wigington, Central High School, 1902.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Gregory, and I am a senior at Central. It is my honor to introduce inductee Clarence Wigington, class of 1902. Wigington left his mark both on Omaha and his adopted home of St. Paul, Minnesota, as one of the Midwest's first African-American architects. After graduating from Omaha High School in 1902, he worked for local Omaha architect Thomas Kimball and then started his own firm. Local credits include an addition to St. John's AME Church and Zion Baptist Church, which is now on the National Register of Historic Places. He later spent 35 years in the city architect's office in St. Paul. In 1998, one of the buildings he designed in St. Paul, the Pavilion on Harriet Island, was renamed Clarence W. Wigington Pavilion in his honor. Wigington passed away in 1967, but through many surviving landmarks, his legacy lives on. Accepting for Mr. Wigington is Linda Williams.
I'm going to do a quote from the Bible, Deuteronomy 32. Listen, you heavens, and I will speak. Hear, you earth, the words of my mouth. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words descend like dew, like showers on new grass, like abundant rain, on tender plants. Wigington, I am not a member of the Wigington family. They only knew of me because of Mr. James Wigington, who invited me to this event, who's an alumni. And I've just been a fan of Wigington's for the past 15 years when I first heard about or saw his building on 26th and Lake Street, the Crutchfield Row House. And I would go past this building all the time because I lived in the area. I'm like, what is it about that building that I like so much I can't put my finger on it? And in 2001, going through a divorce, graduating from UNL College of Architecture, and then a friend giving me the Wigington book, the story about him, all that just kind of came together. And I learned about African American contributions to the building industry in Omaha. I had never experienced that before. UNL taught a lot of things, but they didn't teach about African American architecture. And so that's where I just saw this building and learned about Wigington's work. And from then on, it encouraged me to keep going in my own profession, to go towards my architect's license as well. And I wouldn't be remiss without saying Wigington had a colorful career. He did not only do architecture, but he also tried to join the National Guard in Minnesota. But because of the times of the day, politically, he was not encouraged to do that. But he and other African Americans started the Minnesota Home Guard instead of the National Guard, Minnesota Home Guard in 1917. And so they were there to protect America as well. But his family, Mildred Bohannon, Muriel Pemberton, Michael Bohannon, Caroline and Gail Pemberton, will be thankful to receive this award. And my friends and colleagues here tonight, Barbara Ingram and Louis Culver, we are Wigington's plants. So thank you.
Could we get the house lights up, please? Please join me in recognizing this year's class of 2015. I also want to take a second and thank the young people tonight. They did an outstanding job. You guys see how one more time for the Iowa guy, because you're responsible for those great young people. There are also a number of other individuals that we didn't recognize, but I want to make sure I get them thanked. Again, it takes a village to make sure this institution continues to shine as a light of what public education can be. I'm so extremely proud to be associated with it. And what I want to make sure before we do closing remarks is for our inductees, we're going to ask you to stay and come up to the stage because we have to take a 2016 class photo. Okay? So, ambassadors, you are to do the same. I also want to remind our audience, if you know of an individual or someone who is associated with Central you think is deserving of Hall of Fame consideration, you may go to the Foundation's website for nomination instructions. Anyone may nominate a candidate. Nominations for the class of 2017 will close on December 31st, 2016. So, something to be thinking about. To end tonight, we would ask that you please exit the building from this level. There will be committee members to direct you to the doors and to take your lanyards. And finally, we look forward to seeing you all next year. Drive safely, stay dry. Thank you so very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.